First, let's define debate. Debate is a formal, direct, personal, and oral contest and argumentation between two or more persons on a definite proposition at a definite time. What's good about this definition by Africa is that it already contains the elements of debate. These are the 9 elements of debate. The first 4 elements are modifiers of the 5th element, contest. The first is formal. It means that debate as a contest has rules or standards or criteria or rubrics to follow. Debate also uses the standard language, not the colloquial form of language. The second element is that debate is a direct contest, in that all arguments and pieces of evidence presented should have direct relevance to the proposition. Also, the debaters should come face to face with each other. Third element is that debate is an oral contest. Needless to say, debate is delivered orally, by mouth, not through exchanges of written articles or other forms. And the fourth modifier, the fourth element, is that debate is a personal contest, in that the performance of the duties to debate is non-delegable or non-transferable to another person. It is a personal, even strictly personal duty to argue. The fifth element is that debate is a contest. Of course, you should know what contest is. A competition should have rules, participants, and judges, and the winners are known at the end. A contest of what? This is a contest of argumentation. By now, you should know what argumentation is. I discussed this in the first video. Debate is a competition of good reasoning, good, sound reasoning. The seventh element, persons, is a superfluosity. Of course, persons should be rational, reflective, contemplative even. The eighth element is proposition, which pertains to statement containing the disputable claim. It is the starting point of debate, without which there can be no debate. And the last one is time, and that debate is conducted following a set duration of time, and every speech is set on a time scale as well. There are 2 concepts that you must be familiar with before proceeding to debate. The 2 approaches or methods of argumentation: conviction and persuasion. Debate is an act of influencing the belief, attitude, values, or action of another person, and these 2 approaches or methods in argumentation are vital, specifically in the establishment of the proposition. Understanding the concepts, approaches, or methods of argumentation is vital in establishing and knowing the types of debate propositions. Conviction and persuasion are both acts of influencing another person. The distinctions lie in the following. Conviction aims to influence another person's belief, attitude, and values. Belief is a cognitive domain, attitude a psychological or emotive domain, while values is a moral, ethical domain. Belief, attitude, and values are abstract ends, intangible results. The results of influencing by conviction are intangible and abstract, but the results of influencing by persuasion are concrete, physical, visible. Conviction makes the truth clear, while persuasion makes the truth interesting. While conviction drives one to accept the truth, persuasion leads one to embrace the truth. Argumentation and debate is important in human relations in that it is fundamental, universal, and indispensable. Argumentation and debate is fundamental. It is essential, important, in that belief is what determines one's action and attitude towards other persons and institutions. Since belief is formed through argumentation, then argumentation is fundamental. It is universal in that the capacity and desire to communicate ideas is inherent to every person, regardless of race, age, gender, economic, social status, and other factors. And it is indispensable in that every person is a rational social being who needs to relate with others despite diversity of beliefs, backgrounds, and aspirations. There are four classes or stasis of debate: proposition, inference, issues, and evidence. Proposition pertains to the statement containing act of judgment, which is a mental assertion of something either true or false. Inference pertains to the link between the proposition and evidence. Issues are the inherently vital points that the affirmative must establish and the negative must deny. And evidence pertains to any matter presented in order to establish the truth or falsity of the matter which pertains to the proposition. There are two types of proposition. Some authors would give us three, but the supposedly second type, the proposition of value, is the same thing as the proposition of fact. So we take it from Africa in the keynote. There are two types of proposition of fact and proposition of policy. Proposition of fact is a matter of conviction. It is concerned with the truth or falsity of an act of judgment. Proposition of policy is a matter of persuasion, in that it is concerned with the wisdom or unwisdom of expediency or inexpediency of course of action. While proposition of fact aims at belief, proposition of policy aims at action. Proposition of fact settles the question, is this assertion true? Proposition of policy, on the other hand, settles the question, should this course of action be adopted? Take a look at the examples for the types of proposition on the same idea. For proposition of fact, you may phrase your proposition in the formal debate this way: resolve that death penalty is a good punishment for heinous crimes. For parliamentary debate type, phrase it this way: this House believes that death penalty is a good punishment for heinous crimes. The idea here is for you to agree or disagree, to take the proposition as either true or false. But transform these into proposition of policy for formal debate type. Phrase it this way: resolve that death penalty should be reinstated as punishment for heinous crimes. Or for parliamentary type, this House urges the reinstatement of death penalty as punishment for heinous crimes. Here, you are asked to do something, a specific course of action. The other distinction lies in the verbs used. In the case of proposition of fact, the verb or copula used is a linking verb. Is a linking verb in the simple present tense. It expresses an absolute term. On the other hand, proposition of policy uses the copula or verb in the perfect tense, should be plus past participle form of the verb. The verb believes is a verb expressing state of being, while urges is a verb expressing action. What are the qualities or characteristics of a good proposition? First, the proposition must be in the form of an assertion, claim, or act of judgment. It is categorical, not tentative. Do not use limiting adverbs such as somehow, probably, perhaps, or maybe, like resolve that the death penalty should perhaps be reinstated to curb criminality. Second, the proposition must express only one act of judgment. In other words, it should have only one subject matter. Avoid multiple subject matters to resolve, such as resolve that same-sex marriage should be legalized and same-sex couples should be allowed to adopt children. Third, the proposition must be susceptible of only one interpretation. Fourth, the proposition must not contain words of bias or prejudice. Fifth, the proposition should avoid abstractions and generalizations. Sixth, the proposition must be concise and simple. Seventh, the proposition must be so worded that the burden of proof lies in the affirmative side. And eighth, it must be interesting. Now, when can you tell that the proposition is interesting? Use the tests in journalism, the tests of timeliness and proximity. Issues are the inherently vital points that the affirmative must establish and the negative must deny. There are three kinds of issues: potential issues, admitted issues, and stock issues. Potential issues are the inherently vital points involved in the proposition that the affirmative should establish to make out a prima facie case. Admitted issues are those on which there is no clash of opinion because they are not controverted by the negative side. And stock issues are the standard claims common to all debates on similar types of propositions. The other kinds of issues present in parliamentary types of debate are ultimate or voting issues, which arises when there is only one issue remaining in dispute or when all remaining issues rest upon this single issue, and the contentious issues, which are statements offered in support of an issue. Let's take examples of the potential issues. In the proposition to legalize divorce, the issue that is embedded in the proposition is to amend the provision of the family code that prohibits divorce of Filipino spouses. This issue may not be stated explicitly, so it should be known by both sides. Another example of potential issue is in the proposition to reinstate the death penalty. It should be known to both sides that behind this proposition is to repeal RA 9346 that suspends the imposition of death penalty. Again, these potential issues may not be explicitly stated, therefore it should be known. It is presumed to be known to both sides. Now, examples of admitted issues. In the proposition requiring public officials to have college degrees, there is no dispute, there is no debate that college teaches higher order thinking and leadership skills. This is not an issue, in other words. Another, in the proposition to legalize same-sex unions, there is no dispute that love is a legitimizing factor for unions. Now, take note of the fixed or standard criteria of issues in formal debate on the one hand and in parliamentary debate on the other hand. In formal debate, the three standard issues are necessity, beneficiality, and practicability. Practicability, not practicality. Necessity answers the question, is there a need for the proposition? Beneficiality, on the other hand, answers the question, what's in it for us? And practicability answers the question, is it doable and manageable? In the case of parliamentary debate, the common three issues are harm, solvency, and topicality. Harm answers the question, does the gain outweigh the harm? Solvency answers the question, does it solve the problem? And topicality answers certain issues which are of different domains, such as economic domain, societal domain, moral domain, etc. Issues are stated in broad terms, so you need to divide these into specifics, and these specifics are called partitions. Partition is the term for the statement of the main points to be taken up in the course of the discussion. These are so-called sub-issues. Let's see an example of the partitions for the proposition. Resolved that barangay chief executives of cities and first-class municipalities should have college degrees. Obviously, the proposition is stated in the formal debate type, so your first issue may be there is necessity to require barangay chief executives or BCEs of cities and first-class municipalities to have college degrees. This is the first criterion of issue of necessity. You may divide these into the following partitions. First, there is public clamor to require BCEs to have college degrees. Second, governance at the barangay level has become more complex in our current level of socio-political development. And third, complex local government functionalities and problems entails chief executives from the grassroots to have higher education and training. Going to the second issue of beneficiality criterion, the issue may be requiring barangay chief executives or BCEs to have college degrees redound to the benefits of the society and community. Divide these as well into partitions. You may state the first, BCEs with college degrees shall have higher order thinking and decision-making skills to understand and provide solutions to the complex problems and needs of the community. Second, BCEs with college degrees shall be more capable to deliver their functions effectively and efficiently. And third, BCEs with college degrees shall have better fiscal management skills to prevent wastage of public funds and resources. And the last issue of practicability, requiring barangay chief executives to have college degrees is practicable, can be divided into the following partitions. First, pursuing and completing a college degree is practicable insofar as aspiring BCEs can finish college through the Free College Act. Second, aspiring BCEs can enroll in state colleges and universities in any region in the country. And third, pursuing and completing a college degree is not difficult given the aspiring BCEs' will and determination to reach the goal. It doesn't end there. You have just started. The bulk of the work lies in filling up each of these issues and partitions with compelling evidence stated in clear and coherent interrelated statements. Good luck.